See, we'll see what happens, right? All right, what's happening, y'all? How are y'all doing? Let me check the chat real quick, man. I've been busy on this. Center, Mike Ray, TWF. Hey, man, how y'all doing? Yes. See if I can get the gig bag out of the way, and I'll turn the camera the best I can. That right there is what I'm playing through, right there. The Katana, the boss, if I can get it to it. There you go. Katana, 100-watt head, man. Got it. It came yesterday. And I enjoy it a lot. I love it. You know, like I said, if you saw the little short, I think it was like a minute 47 clip I did, I was in a hurry, man. I've been busy all day. So this is, of course, an unscheduled thing here tonight. So I apologize if I'm treading on anybody else's territory. I hope not. I would never do that on purpose. How do I like this compared to the 5150? I think, was that TWF said that? Yes, TWF. Of course, the 5150, in my opinion, is its own entity. You know what I'm saying? And it's got tubes. It's all. It's fantastic. But I have to be honest. This Boss 100-watt Katana head, pardon me, is amazing. God almighty, it's amazing. It's it's more than what I was expecting, to tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? I got the recommendations from Jim Guidry and Sinner. He's in here as well. I got the recommendations from those friends of mine right there. So I'm just now running it out of the back of the head into the Zoom R8, using the Zoom R8 as a mixer right now. Going into the out of that into the Go mixer and into the phone. So y'all can tell me what it sounds like, because I can hear what it sounds like coming from this, but I have no idea how it sounds on y'all's end. So if y'all could please give me some feedback, that would be very much appreciated. Please. Yeah, so it's fantastic. I think it's a great head, man. It sounds great. I'm still just scraping the surface with this right now. There's supposed to be more tones that you can put on here from I think Boss's website, and I still have to toy with that, because I definitely want to do that. Explore more tones, right? I mean, that's the whole premise. But yeah, I did run this through. Thank you, TWF. Yeah, it is a great value for the money. The 100-watt head here cost me $350. $350 is what it was, man. It's solid state, and it's got some built-in effects. The reverbs and the delays on here are amazing, in my opinion. I was like, man, these sound great. You know, just a touch of each is what I got going on. So it's I love it, man. It's not too much delay, but it's enough to be substantial, you know. What was I saying? Yeah, solid state. It's just phenomenal, man. For the money, you can't beat it. I mean, in my opinion, you can't beat it. So I was thinking the whole reason for this is I think Center had one first, and he was talking about it from here and there, but I think he was talking more about it to my buddy Jim. And so Jim decided to get one. He got one, and then he was telling me about it. He said, man, you got to check this out, man. You got to, it's amazing. Because the reason I wanted to get this is because my 5150 head, it needs to be retubed, right? Which is not a big deal, but it's just enough to where I was like, man, if I just put some more money with that, I can just get this new head and not have to worry about tubes, which I eventually will get the 5150 retubed. Don't get me wrong. I eventually will, yes. But I was like, why not just get the head, and I can go ahead and connect it to my 412 cabinet here and rock out, you know? And that's what I did. I went ahead and hooked it up, and it was amazing. You got a 100-watt mode, 100-watt mode. You got a 50-watt, and I think a half a watt. And I just had it on 50 watts. And man, that sucker would crank. That's a good question, TWF. He wants to know, do you have to update any kind of software to keep the Katana updated? I don't know. That I'm still learning myself. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I don't want to say no and then be wrong, because I have no clue, to tell you the truth, sir. All I do know as of right now is that you can get more tones from their site somehow or another and put them on the amp head here, so you can have more tonal options, like I was saying. So yeah, went through the 412 cabinet earlier today, man, and if you saw that video behind this one, I set up the my Zoom Q2N camera and just recorded live, and some of me is kind of out of the frame a little bit. I tried to. It's just there's not much room in here to work, So for what it was, it's all right. It did okay, but yeah, man, I was like a kid, literally like a kid at Christmas, man. I plugged it up, started playing it, and I was going through the different sounds. I was like, man. So I texted my buddy Jim. I said, man, this thing sounds effing phenomenal. He was like, I told you, man. I told you, so because we talked about it last night for a while, Yes, Bo Zeke is in the house. He says the brown sound is legit. That's what, if I'm not mistaken, that's what I have it on right now. Yeah. It's it's badass for that tone, yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with it, very much so. So like I said, early Christmas present. My wife was kind enough to let me go ahead and open it because I was like, man, I need to check it to make sure nothing's wrong with it. I don't want to let it sit here for almost another month, So she was cool, man. She's like, go ahead. So I was like, okay, thank you. So went ahead and hooked it up, and I was blown away. Hey, Mr. Bishop. No, Mr. Bozique. I just bought the head, and I'm going through the PV cabinet. I'll show you. Okay, now you can see. I'm gonna point with my guitar. There's the head I just got. Okay, and I'm going through this cabinet down here. Of course, not right now. I'm using the line out jack to run into my mixer. So now you know the rest of the story. Hey, Mr. Bishop, how you doing, sir? Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Oh God, Maury. Wait a minute. Founder of Arby's, Joe Wentz. No, I wish I was, man. I'd have a better room than this. Yes, Mr. TWF. Philip McKnight did have a lot of nice things to say about these brand of heads and amps. Yes, he did. And I actually did watch his video where he demoed it, and I think he was going through like a combo, I believe. And it was really cool, man. I was like, wow, So it was really cool, man. Maury from Columbia, South Carolina. What's up, man? Oh, thank you, Maury. Yeah, this is the Hey, Mr. Pierce, how are you, sir? This is the EVH Wolfgang special. Mr. Maury, yes. I've had this for, I don't know, I guess over a year. Thank you, Maury. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm goofing up here and there, but who cares? I'm tired, man. I got up early this morning, so my fingers are wanting to start faltering already. And it's like, dang it, man, come on, but oh well. Yes, Mr. Pierce. Ooh, I got questions coming everywhere. Wait a minute. Yes, Mr. Pierce. It is the Katana right here. Right there, sir. Right there she is. Right there. Right there. Yes, and it is on the brown sound. Yes, it is. Yes, sir, it is. Yes, it is as of right now. Yes, it's on the brown sound. Yeah. And like I said, I'm coming from, was it a line out? Or I can't remember which one it is on the back, coming out into the mixer, the Zoom R8, coming out of that into the roll and go mixer into the phone. The only pedal I have in front of the amp is the EP booster by Exotic. That's it. Oh, wow. Really, Mr. Pierce? Wow. Thanks, man. That's amazing. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Let me see. I'm trying to get these questions. I'm sorry, folks, if I'm missing you. TWF wants to know how the clean tone is. I can't really get up and hit it right now, but I tried it earlier. It is amazing. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay, Mr. Pierce, I got you, man. I got you. I understand. What was those other questions? I know I missed a couple. I'm sorry. They all kind of popped up there at one time. Let me see. Bozique saying it's insane how they make things nowadays with amp. Yeah, it is. It is, man. It's like I was blown away with this thing. I heard a lot of good things about it, and you're kind of what's the word? You're kind of like, yeah, okay. How good can it be? And then I started watching some reviews on YouTube, right? And then which was swaying me a little bit more, right? And then, like I said, with my partner Jim Guidry, when he got one, he was telling me, he goes, man, you're not going to believe how this thing sounds. If you haven't checked out Jim Guidry's channel, check him out. Jim Guidry, Guidry. Him and his son do a lot of live jams. It's really cool. So they play live, So he needed something like this for his live setup, because they go through a PA and all. He's got a cool setup the way they do it. So he can either go through the cabinet or his PA, whatever. And so he went ahead and got the Boss Katana 100 watt after him and Center had talked. And he was telling me, he goes, man, you have got to check it out. You would not believe how that sounds. And I was like, really? So the more we talked, the more I was getting into it. I was like, man, and then next thing I know, he got one. He sent me a message. I just ordered my Katana. I was like, what? So my wife you talk about perfect timing. She, was it last week or week before? She said, "What do you want for Christmas?" So I said, "Okay, here we go." And I said, "This right here," I had my smartphone, had it on AMS, right? And I had pulled it up, and she was like, "What is that?" And I told her what all it was and all. And I said, "That's what I like to have. If not, it's no big deal, But you asked me what I wanted. That's what I like to have because it's going to be something I'm going to use. So yeah, and it came yesterday. So I was shocked. But like I said, I went ahead and opened it up early, but because she had it sitting in here on this little table, and she wrote with a magic marker, "Merry Christmas." And I was like, "Does that mean I can open it now? Don't tell me I have to wait, almost another month." And she said, "Nah, go ahead." So it was cool. But yeah, I really, like I said, I just literally started messing with it late this afternoon or late this evening, I guess, whatever you want to call it. And so far, man, it's phenomenal. It sounds killer through this cabinet. That's what got me. And like I said, I just had it on the 50-watt setting. And I think I turned you got a volume and a master volume, right? So I got the volume cranked, just the regular volume. I think I got it cranked at about, probably about, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock. It's up pretty high. And I went ahead and cranked up the master volume. I'm using my master volume for the, what I'm saying, for the main thing. So I went ahead and cranked it on about between 3 and 4 earlier, and it was thumping, man. It was thumping. I was like, man, it was just, you could just feel the coming out, the volume hitting your body. So it was cool, man. It was like, man, my wife's like, "Okay, you can turn it back down now," but it was just, I just wanted to be able to have a half stack, a working half stack again. Having this head, like I said, I got to get it retubed, which I eventually will. But having something like this, man, you got to worry about no tubes, man. Go ahead and just plug it up. Plug and play. You ready, right? There you go, man. It's worth the money, in my opinion. I think it is. RMG 471. How are you, sir? How are you doing, man? Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. And thank you for the thumbs ups, folks. I really appreciate that as well. That really helps the channel, and I greatly appreciate it. Mr. Collins, how are you? Was that Gene? Thank you, Mr. Gene, for subscribing to Jim Guidry's channel, man. He would very much appreciate that. Yeah, he's a good dude. Thank you, Maury. Is that? Oh, man. Mr. Bruce, Mr. Spanky McAllister, how are y'all, man? Michael Collins. A nice new amp day. I didn't think about that. That's pretty cool, Mr. Collins. New amp day. Nathaniel, my son's in the house. What do you mean you can't see me? Wait a minute. You better check your phone, son. Oh, my shirt. That's my son, Nathan Hughes. That's my son, y'all. He says I can't see me because of my camouflage shirt. I hear you. Yeah. Thank you, Blackie DH. Thank you. Mr. Collins says, do I like the new amp? Yes, sir. Very much so. Yes, sir, I do. Yes. Yes, thank you. Yes. Yeah, if y'all want to check out the shirts, go to the joewentzproject.com. Scroll up just a little bit, and you'll see a blue hyperlink there. It'll take you straight to the store. If you'd like to look at a camouflage shirt or any kind of shirt, any kind of apparel, cups, aprons, pillowcases, you name it, we got it. Yeah, man. Make it a milk chocolate. Back to the Future reference. Yeah. Maury says, have I seen Adam the Woo's new video? I did. I watched it when I got up this morning, my friend. He did the filming locations for National Lampoon's Vacation. Yeah, that was fantastic, man. He did a lot of editing and work on that. You could tell. He traveled all over for that, man. That was really cool. That was really cool, man. It's like, dang, man, I was glad to see him put something out, you know? Oh, Mr. Bishop, really? Okay, I have to try that, man. I have to try it. I don't know what's up with my headphones. They act like they want to come off. There we go. See if we can get some adjusting here. Nathan, I don't want to say nothing. A flat, Sanford and Son reference. Ebenezer Sanford. Yeah, I'm a huge Sanford and Son fan. And when my son was little, I got him hooked on Sanford when he was just a kid. So he's he's a Sanford and Son fan too. Maury said Adam the Woo did a majestic job. He did. He did a fantastic job, man. I always love watching Adam the Woo. Mr. Pierce, nothing like a little red fox. Yeah. What model is this? It's just an EVH Wolfgang special. Made in Mexico. It's a vintage white. It's got black binding on it, sir. Yeah. I've had it for what? I've had it for, I think, close to 2 years, maybe. Year and a half, something like that. Thank you, Maury. Thank you for hopping on, man. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. A lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. Yes, Mr. Pierce, it's the Made Mexico model. Yes, yes. I haven't tried the Japanese ones at all. I heard they were good though. My son wants to know how the clean channels are. They're fantastic. Uh, in my opinion, they're great, man. Really nice. Um, my buddy Center in here, he was saying something about what Boss is using for that clean channel. That's I forget what they're using some kind of special circuit. I think they upgraded the circuit or something like that, and that's why it makes it sound so pretty. That's one thing that my buddy Jim harped about too was the clean channel, how really nice it was, which he was right because I sit there and messed with it, and I was like, damn, that sounds good. It's got a real nice subtle chorus to it. You know, so it's really cool. Oh yeah, Mr. Pierce, yeah, Japanese model Wolfgang, yeah, yeah. I know they made those for a while, uh, very very short while, and I've always heard that those, if you can find one of those are worth hanging on to. I've also heard that uh, the resale value on these isn't that great, but I mean, to me, that doesn't concern me. I wasn't planning on selling it or nothing like that, but you can look them up on Reverb, and I think because this one was $1,000, and I think now you can get a used one for probably $600, from what I understand. So it is what it is. It just depends on personal preference. I love mine myself. They play phenomenally well. They're a well built, really well built guitar. Um, my son was asking me about the EVH Striped with a single pickup, which is amazing guitar. Yes, so you have to keep that in mind. Do you want a guitar with one pickup? Because you're not going to be able to switch. You go to that neck pickup, right? It's just something you got to think about. Hey, Mr. Collins, TWF, have I turned it up loud? I've turned it up close to halfway, and it was on 50 watts, and did it start to fade out or whatever? No. No, sir, it did not. It held up strong. Again, that was just on 50 watts. I could still went to 100 watts, and it'd been a whole lot more loud, but no, it was doing great. I thought so. But you could definitely feel the power coming through the cabinet. Like I said earlier, it was just like, man, God Almighty. It was just like, I was like, damn, like, but experienced that in a long time. God, it's been a long time. But it just makes you realize, back when I was playing some gigs and all that stuff like that, I just forgot about because it's been since probably 2006. It's been quite some time, and we would play some places with some decent volume, not nothing crazy, but So when you get used to practicing or playing with headphones all the time, that's what you get accustomed to. When you get around something like this, you like want to turn it up, give it a little test run, which that's what I did today. Did it just for a couple of minutes, not long, and turned it back down. But yeah, it did great, man. So I can only imagine if had to take this to a gig, I'd be like, man, I wouldn't have no problem whatsoever. Yes, Mr. Pierce. Yeah, you could. That's what I'm saying, man. When you have it jacked up pretty loud on your volume, you're playing, you're kind of standing in front of it, you can feel. I'm serious. You can actually feel when you're playing something, you can feel that come through and kind of run across your legs or your lower back or whatever, however you got it set up. You can feel that, man. And that's a lot of people like to ride motorcycles. just they feel that freedom of riding on a motorcycle, feeling the wind in their face. It's kind of sort of like that, kind of, but in a guitar player's terminology. You know what I mean? In the guitar player's world, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like that, kind of, sort of, just a little bit. That's the best way I can, describe it. So, yeah, I was just like, wow, man. So that was cool. And it was really wild to have it jacked up and sit there and just play, My playing's starting to decline right now as I'm tired, man. I got up early for whatever reason. I got home at like 4 o'clock this morning, and I woke up at like 7:30. I was like, what am I doing up? 3 hours of sleep, man. And I tried to go back to sleep. I slept for another couple hours, and I went ahead and got up. So I'm feeling it right now. I just had supper a little bit ago, full stomach. So it won't be long. I'll be going to bed. Yes, TWF. It's just when you have an amp cranked up at a decent volume, you can feel the vibrations coming from the speakers. You know what I mean? You just feel it as it travels from the speakers out. If you're in front of your amp, you can feel that power. I mean, that's not the first time. I mean, anybody that's got a half stack or I mean, if you're that lucky to have a full stack, but I mean, anybody that's played in front of amps and had it cranked up, they know what I'm talking about. It's just that power you feel. It's hard to describe, man, but it's really cool. It's like, dang gum, man, I'm doing that, and like I said, I had it cranked up earlier, and I was just trying my best just to noodle around, right? You're doing something like that through and you got it cranked up, man, good gracious alive. You feel that, it's like, whoa. Did I do that? Yes, Mr. Pierce. He says you can feel the room. Yeah, man. Yeah. Michael Bishop says crank up the 4x12 rock and roll. Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I say. I got this PV half stack I've had it for years, and not to reiterate stuff, but the 5150 head is kind of down right now as it needs a new tube. So my cabinet's sitting here, and a perfectly good cabinet, So I hooked up the Boss to it, which that was the main agenda to begin with, and got my levels where I wanted them and cranked it up. Oh my gosh, man. Damn. It was just like, what the? It was like, yes, sir. Jackpot, Yeah, something like that. Trying to, anyway. Mr. Collins wants to know, do I think it's worth it? In my humble opinion, yes. Yes, it is. He says it sounds great. Thank you, Mr. Collins. Yes, there is I think a 5-inch speaker that's built into the head, and yeah, that sounds great too. I mean, if I didn't have the cabinet plugged in, I could just go with the 5-inch speaker, which it sounds great for what it is. But if you want the power, I hooked up to the cabinet, which it's not like I'm going to, excuse me, it's not like I'm going to crank this thing up, and blast the walls down or something, but it's there if I want it, right? Um, yeah, I think it's worth it, Mr. Collins. Absolutely. I do. A lot of people like to get the combo with one speaker. Some people like the combo with the two speakers. It's just personal preference. I wanted the head because I've already got speakers. There was no reason for me to get a combo because plus I got one right here, my Line 6 Spider 4. It's a combo. It's got two tens. So I don't need another combo. I wanted the actual head to put on top of the cabinet here. And so yeah, all the reviews that I've not read, but the reviews that I've seen on YouTube have all been positive. I haven't seen one person yet. I'm sure there's some out there. Somebody's got something smart ass to say. Oh, this thing, pretty much that person really don't know what they're talking about anyway. If they're not really experienced, not saying that I am. I'm not a professional in any shape, form, or fashion, but I know enough what sounds good and what doesn't. I've been around the block a couple of times when it comes to this, but so yeah, it's worth it, man. Absolutely. Timothy Pierce says it almost feels like a tube amp. Is that right? Yes, it reacts like a tube amp. In my opinion, it plays phenomenally well, and so yeah. And just think, this is what y'all were hearing is just me coming from the back of the amp into the mixer. I'm not using nothing through the mixer. I'm just using that to adjust my levels. Right. I'm not using no EQ or nothing. The only thing I'm EQing is what's off the amp. I'm not using any EQ on here or nothing. So that's the amp right there. Not bad, man. From what I understand, this you're able to access all the Boss effects and put on this head via the Boss website. From what I understand, have I tried that yet? No. But from what I understand, that's what you're supposed to be able to do. And like somebody said earlier, the way technology is nowadays, it's just unbelievable. Blackie D8 says, sounds killer, Joe. I've been thinking about getting the combo version. Yeah, there's a lot of people that like that. I think Center has that, I believe. I believe that's what he had. Charlie S. This head it maxes out at 100 watts, but it can be put on 50 watts. So you got 100 watts, 50 watts, and half a watt. So you have choices there. So I got the 100 watt because I wanted that to go with my cabinet. You see what I'm saying? I'll show you right here. Right there, Mr. Charlie, is the Katana right there, and down here is the PV cabinet that I'm going through. So yeah, it's a 100 watt head, but right now, no, I'm sorry. Earlier I had it on 50 watts, and right now it's on 100 because it said in the manual that you have to put on 100 when you do a line out, I believe, into like a mixer or something for some reason. Oh Zeke, I hear you, man. Says the Brown channel is the best. Yeah, I that's what this is on right now. Bozique says he has the 50 watt combo. It's legit. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. There's another satisfied guitar player, right? Yes, Mr. Pierce. Yes, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I apologize. I have to lean up to read. Um, the comments are so small on this phone. Yeah, like I said, that's what I have it on right now. Is the brown? And we all know where that's coming from, right? Charlie Hiss. It's the future. Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I don't know what all. I can't say enough great things about it. I mean, it's like I said. I'm still scratching the surface. You know, I'm still. This is still new. I still got a lot more things to do with it. Download some more tones off the Boss site. Figure out what I got to do. I actually have another thing coming tomorrow that I'm really jacked about. I have some new software coming, audio recording software. So hopefully my audio recording is going to go up to the next level as far as quality. So that's going to be another learning curve right there. I have to deal with an interface and software and all this. I just hope that I hope it's not too bad. Center is talking to me about it, so I'm going off his recommendation. Everything that he's recommended and Jim Guidry's recommended has been a home run. So I trust those guys 110%. So yeah, it's awesome. I think my wife and stepdaughter just got home, so the dogs are going to go nuts here in a second. I need to get ready to get off here because they're going to go buck ass crazy. Yeah, I was thinking about the foot switch. Yes. Yes, Mr. Bozique, you are correct. Yeah, it's like I said, this amp to be a new thing I think these have been out what for about a year now. I'm thinking or close to a year. Don't quote me on that. They haven't been out long. But the tones you can get from this thing, it's like it can sound like some vintage stuff, you know. So I'm looking forward to being able to go into the I forget what it's called, like some kind of tone library or something, where you can get like a Marshall Plexi tone. You can get whatever, all these different amp types, and you can put in there. You know, so I'm looking forward to that because the way I'm doing this right now, I'm just playing the way it is out of the box. I haven't programmed anything. I think there's like you got a clean, you got a rock channel, I like a lead, and then the brown channel. There's like 4 channels, right? So all I'm doing right now is just playing the way it is out of the box. I haven't even added any more tones to it whatsoever. I'm still, like I said, still got to figure that out, you know. But it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it, and it's always a cool thing to when you get another option for some tones, you know, have more tonal options, I should say, because as guitar players, musicians in general, that's what we're looking for. We're always looking for another tone, another way to be creative and express ourselves, you know, through our instrument. So, all right, guys, I got to rock and roll. Let me jet out of here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you'll have a great day. Take care. Be safe. Until next time, this is Joe, and we'll see you in the next video. See you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you for the thumbs up. See you. Bye-bye.